ready for another Extra Butter, starting with the movie Freaky. Imagine Freaky Friday, only instead of mother and daughter switching places, it's daughter and a serial killer. That serial killer is Vince Vaughn, joining us to talk about it. If Mel Gibson playing the part of Santa Claus in a movie called Fatman isn't enough for conversation, what's wrong with you? We'll have a spirited chat with Mel Gibson about it in moments, and Mellissa McCarthy in Superintelligence, a movie written and directed by her husband, both of them zooming by to hang out about it, and Jamie Foxx takes the lead in the new Pixar masterpiece, Soul. That and more on this Extra Butter. Hey, welcome to fall. And you can tell it's fall when I'm wearing the upholstery out of my parents' 1973 Winnebago. Moving on. It's also a great time for movies. For those of you pre-COVID that said, I'm gonna wait until it comes out on home video, you're in luck because everything's coming out on home video. Case in point, the latest project from these two guys. Imagine, if you will, an ordinary lady picked because she's an ordinary lady that gets thrust into fighting crime thanks to a super intelligent computer. Imagine Dave from 2001: A Space Odyssey taking over someone and helping them fight crime. That's pretty much what you get. And the voice of the supercomputer is James Corbin. I should explain a couple things. One, they are donating massive amounts of attention from this movie over to a charity, counting down to World Kindness Day. That, and as I stare at it, there's a giant beanbag across the room. There's a giant beanbag in this movie, so I thought I would bring it in for hilarity, but instead, I think I sprained my neck. Take a look. Hey, congratulations on the movie. It is phenomenal. But before we get to that, I want to talk about something you two are instrumental in. You've been leading up, counting down to World Kindness Day with the 20 Days of Kindness, and talk about how that all started.
Well, 20 Days of Kindness really started all of us that, work so hard to make Superintelligence. It really is like bringing in a new family member. You love this project, you take care of it. It takes years to make, and then you release it out into the world, and you hope it does not just entertains, but does some good stuff for people, especially this movie because there's such great heart to it. And we thought, let's take this moment and let's actually try to make a difference and shine some light on all the good in the world, because there's so much noise, there's so much negativity and hatred. And we really do think that the good outweighs the bad. So we said 2020 has been a pickle of a year. Let's take 20 charities, give them each $20,000, and just shine the light on all the good stuff that people are doing, because there's more good than bad. It's just not as flashy. And so we have a kindness hub, 20daysofkindness.com. You can go to it. You can donate. You can donate $1, 50 cents, pick a charity, and even just learn about it. A little bit of love goes a long way. And you'll just see that how many people, even during this really difficult year, they're still doing amazing things. And humans are still reaching out to other humans, and we need it.
It's incredibly inspiring overall, just, in this 20 Days of Kindness, just to learn about these people, to take the time to, figure out what these brave, kind people are up to. It's been absolutely an inspiration for me anyway. So we're happy to be doing it.
I love that you're harnessing the power right now to focus that, to, make some good happen, in addition to the greatness that's going to happen just with people being distracted by something so funny. I want to talk about you two. So you two kids, when you got together, I want to go back to some of your memories. Ben, what's the first act of kindness you can remember seeing from Mellissa?
There was a guy, we met at the Groundlings, and there was a guy, our friend Matt Faxon, who's an actor, and he said lovingly was terrible with wigs. So the first thing that she would get there early, put on her wig cap because she was insane. She got there like 4 hours early before every show, and she would just brush out his wigs because she knew that he needed her help brushing out his wigs, and he looked great when he went on stage. And that was, I thought, a kind thing. Also, when I was totally broke, she would make me sandwiches, delicious sandwiches.
Aw. Mellissa, you got to quickly tell me what's the first or most recent act of kindness Ben has displayed in front of you.
Ben kind of lives 100% in kindness. I've never, in all of our years together, I've never had Ben say or do anything that wasn't completely motivated from kindness and patience. It's pretty remarkable. It's remarkable to be around. And I think even when the worst is being said, Ben will always take the high road and say, well, we don't know what that person's going through right now. And it is a constant reminder that love is more powerful and that you never regret taking the high road and being kind. And he's active with it. And he's taught it to our girls. And it is a rather magnificent thing to live next to.
Very nice of you to say. I think about 80% of it is true.
That's enough. Hey, you guys, I got the interview chair from the movie.
Oh, my God.
Do you have any interview questions you need to ask me as we wrap this up?
But it is not easy to get up into, right?
Son of a... this is not fun or funny.
It is not an easy thing to launch into.
Yeah.
I can't get up, but just know that this interview's wrapped on a high note. I love you both. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Watch your back.
Be careful getting up. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, obviously that was shtick, but I had to run over to my computer to get off the Zoom. Kind of twitched my neck a little bit in the process. Don't say I never give for you. I did it for you. Check it out, Superintelligence now playing on HBO Max. When we come back, imagine Mel Gibson playing Santa in a movie that's way less joyful and triumphant and hardcore crime espionage action. He'll talk about it with us next. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us on Extra Butter. To the men and women serving America all over the country, thanks for watching on AFN in 168 different countries and territories worldwide. And those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Keep on liking, keep on subscribing. All right, headed to theaters and online, a movie like I've never seen before. Fatman. What is Fatman? It's a way of kind of ambiguously describing Saint Nick. That's right, Santa Claus, played by Mel Gibson. That alone sounds interesting, but you got to be set up. You got to be warned about this movie. Oldsters, think back to Bill Murray's Scrooge. Do you remember that? In that movie, this network executive shows a fake promo for a fake television show where Lee Majors, the guy who used to play the $6 Million Man, was saving Santa Claus, and it looked like an espionage crime thriller. Well, imagine if they really made that movie. That's kind of the notes that this movie hits. You'll love it. You'll love it. So just watch. Hey, good morning, you two. Where are you and how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Chance?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
Awesome. Chance, I can't help but admire that lovely poster you have behind you. A guy like you, the bulk of your career, you can't drive down Hollywood Boulevard or go anywhere without seeing a bus or a poster. What's it like constantly seeing yourself staring back at you?
Well, you get used to it. I got used to it a long time ago. It was disconcerting at first. But that face behind you is it's actually, there's some kind of menace in there.
Which is, you don't normally think of the guy and menace, but I can't wait for people to see this movie and this take on it. Chance, your character frightens me a little bit because I've seen this look in my children's eyes when they don't get exactly what they want.
Well, I think that's a job for a therapist.
That's funny.
Yeah, Billy is, he's always kind of been on the verge of pure, just absolutely disgusting, menacing evil. So he's a little evil right now, but when he gets that lump of coal for Christmas,
I'd like you to kill Santa Claus.
That's when he goes all crazy and goes, okay, Santa Claus, let's play that game. So,
I think you've summed up the tone of the movie for people who don't know what they're getting themselves into. Cold, such a negative thing. Let's flip the script and talk about positive stuff. Mel, what's the very first gift you can remember the guy or whatever the holiday gift occasion may have been that you received?
Yeah, I remember my birthday, which was not long after Christmas. I think I was like 4 years old.
All right.
I remember they gave me a new cowboy suit, and I went to visit a farm with a lot of cattle on it. Now I went with my dad, which was like a special thing. And because I had so many brothers and sisters, I had his undivided attention. He took me to see the farm and all the animals. And I'd never seen like I was so little. Saw him up close. They seemed giant. So that was my big, the first things I ever remember.
And thank you, Segway Helper, because the directors were telling me that when you approached them, you said, I think this guy's an old cowboy. So it's been a running theme in your life.
I guess so. Yeah. And I did say that to them. I think he sounds like an old cowboy. And actually, like Santa, an iconic, fantasy that we're all familiar with. being thrown into a Western setting for me was like kind of what was charming and good about this film, and what stood it on its head a little bit. It made it absurd in many ways, but which of course was comical too.
It's awesome. Hey, Chance, when you're working on film 20 and you've got some Oscars on the shelf, you're going to say, one time Mel Gibson taught me. What would you fill in that blank with?
Hopefully I can look back and say, you know what? Mel Gibson taught me how to bring power and how to bring conviction to a scene that didn't have the craziest writing, because Mel is able to fill in the blanks with his legendary skills and fill in the blanks with his power and fill in the blanks with his conviction.
Amen, brother. We got to wrap it up. But Mel, I'm curious, I envision you shining your boots right now. Is that what's going on down there?
No, I'm just kind of, I actually cut my hand, so I'm trying to staunch the bleed. I don't know how it happened. I'm just all of a sudden, I didn't even feel it. And I'm sort of it's like.
Take care of that. And that's a very cowboy thing to be happening during an interview. Good to talk to you guys.
Cheerio.
Have a fantastic day. Thank you.
Yeah, be well, everybody. Be warned, it ain't your grandpa's Santa Claus. It is Fatman, Santa, as played by Mel Gibson. All right, when we come back on Extra Butter, the movie I've been waiting for, nothing short of a masterpiece you would expect from Pixar Animation Studios, talking about their latest, Soul, the Oscar-winning filmmakers, next. What is going on? Welcome back, and thanks for hanging out with us on Extra Butter. I've got to be fully transparent. I'm more than biased about the next topic because it involves Pixar Animation Studios. I think they are the most consistently best storytelling studio on the planet, and it shows. They are the most consistently Academy Award-winning Best Picture for animation on the planet, which brings us to Soul, an all-star cast led by Jamie Foxx about a jazz/soul musician who dies and becomes a soul. Yeah, it's a little bit dark, but keep in mind a lot of Pixar, and for that matter, a lot of Disney movies start with that topic at hand. Where it goes from there is nothing short of magical, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Jamie Foxx and his Academy Award for playing a legendary jazz soul man in Ray. We talked back in the day.
At first, it was you get angry because you can't see, you want to take them off, but you had to keep them, and I had to keep them on even during lunch. So I couldn't see for 12, 14 hours a day, which really, really, really worked on you because you're like, man, I want to take this off. I want to be able to see, but he couldn't take it off. So,
Jamie Foxx was destined to play this guy, and once you see the movie, you're gonna go, Jamie Foxx was destined to play that guy. I caught up with Kemp Powers, Dana Murray, and Oscar winner Pete Docter to talk about it.
Filmmakers, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Down the road, what can we expect from Soul?
Soul is an amazing look into music and who we are at our core, and it's going to be, our cast is amazing. We have Tina Fey, Jamie Foxx, Questlove, Daveed Diggs.
Felicia Rashad. Yeah, and the music, we have John Batiste, which he's just been an incredible person to work with, and Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are our composers. So we're just really excited about the team we're pulling together.
Every Pixar movie is unique to itself, but still kind of has the Pixar signature. But talk about what's unique about this.
I think everything is unique about this one. A Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross score in a Pixar film.
Right.
Is that not the first? Right. I feel like, are you guys' minds blown enough? Are you serious? We're exploring what our purpose is. Pixar always asks big questions, but I think what we're trying to do is really swing for the fences and ask the biggest question of all. And I think there's no way to kind of tackle that without ending up going on an unusually emotional journey.
I can't wait for you to see Disney Pixar Soul debuting exclusively on Disney Plus this Thanksgiving. Get ready for another Academy Award, Pixar animators! I said that like they're down the hall. Actually, they're about 45 minutes away from where I sit right now, so good luck on that Academy Award! I don't think they need the luck. I think they're going to get it. When we come back, imagine Freaky Friday. Instead of the teenager and her mom switching places, it's the teenager and her serial killer. Vince Vaughn is that serial killer. We'll catch up with him and the latest inductee into the Broadcast Film Critics Association, Tara Hitchcock, talks to me about it next. Hey, what's going going on? We're in the home stretch of Extra Butter. Thanks for hanging out with us. And now a movie I'm very excited about. Maybe not for everybody, but I love this movie so much that I brought in my friend, the latest inductee to the Broadcast Film Critics Association. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Tara Hitchcock. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. And thank you, by the way, for years of support and saying you got to apply. And I was nervous. I didn't know if I'd get in.
So Tara, I told you, hey, I was at this party and I saw Vince Vaughn with his dad. And it was just so cool to see like him introducing his dad to Ron Howard and these other celebrities. And you said, I had dinner with him.
Yeah, I've known them for years. And a couple years ago, Vernon was kind enough to invite my husband and I to go to dinner with him and Vicky and Vince's wife, Kyla. And it was the first time I had met her. I sat right next to her, chit-chatted about girl stuff for, 2 hours. Couldn't have been nicer. And I think Vince and Ken bonded over back pain issues. They talked about the back the entire time.
You know, you and I are oft want to play I'll show you yours if you show me mine, when we're talking about celebrity interview clips, and specifically, you got a great bite from Vince. What is it?
Well, it was really fun. I've always been curious. In this body swap movie, they kind of wake up in each other's lairs. Anyway, you'll see. Somehow Vince had this in his bedroom. Take a listen. I love the scene where you wake up in each other's, in your case, Kathryn, it's a bedroom. I don't even know what to call where you've been living, Blissfield Butcher. But if we were to wake up in your high school bedrooms, Vince, what poster is on your wall? What are we looking at?
I was never a big poster person in my bedroom. I didn't have a ton of posters in my bedroom, no. But yeah, I remember there was a fax machine for some reason. My mom kept the fax machine in the bedroom, which was an odd choice.
In your bedroom?
Nope. Yeah, my mom kept a fax machine there. It was really odd. It became a point of conversations where I remember at some point going to her saying, this thing goes off at 5 a.m. Like, why is the fax machine in my bedroom? It was a strange choice. Sure, you'll have to ask my dad, Vernon, about that, who lives in Phoenix, as you know.
I love it. What's so funny, when I do shtick like that, we're never getting together, but you guys are probably really getting together.
I don't know, Mark. Now I'm at that point where, like, do I actually bother him? He's here with family. He's rarely here now because of COVID. I'm not going to, I don't know. I'm torn.
Well, now my interview sucks. You talk about hanging out with them across the table. I talked about hanging out with them across the room and other stuff. Take a look.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Vince, you take the lead. Where are you and how are you?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm doing great. You look very sharp. You look terrific.
Likewise. Kathryn, how are you? Where are you?
Great. I'm in LA too. I wish I was doing my homework, but it seems that I don't have to do homework anymore, and I miss it. I like your posters. That looks great. I love the poster behind you. It looks awesome.
For each of you, what was the hardest physical aspect of assuming the other person? Let me just cut to the chase. Vince, let's talk about your run.
Yeah, man, the run. This was all stuff me and Kathryn kind of worked on with the director together. We sort of had a nice rehearsal period where we got to build out these characters, and we had a lot of preparation, but it made the shooting of the movie actually fun. The hardest part for me physically was trying to fight Kathryn Newton. She's got energy, she's strong. I had to really bring my A game when I knew it was a showdown scene.
Yeah, Kathryn, was there ever a chance during the fight scenes, because it's very physical, and that stuff has to be so choreographed, you can't help but miss every now and then. Did you have to apologize for any close blows?
Oh my goodness. I feel like when you sign up for a movie like this, you sign up to get hurt and you sign up to get a little bloody. So no one got really hurt, but we had a lot of practice and I had a lot of stunt rehearsal to prepare for these fights. So on the day, it was all, you got to be ready. And I was, so. Without
plot spoiling, Vince, your lair itself, this isn't CG, this is a practical set. Creepy AF, your lair. Can we talk about that?
Not only was it creepy, I remember on the day I breathed in some weird kind of whatever was going on, and I had an irritation in my throat throughout the shooting. So it was dirty. It was really what you saw is what you get. It was a nasty set.
Kathryn, how about you? Any nightmares from this production? 10, 20 movies from now, you'll have PTSD?
I think after this movie, I'll be ready for any weather, any set. It was, Chris Landon always says that he always writes like the worst places to film a movie. And we really were in like a warehouse that just had holes in the roof and everyone was like, don't touch anything. And we were there for way too long. We can do anything now.
Hey, Vince, I hate to sidebar for a second, but the last time I saw you in a pre-COVID world, I was at a party in Chicago and I got to see you just hanging out with your pop and interacting. And I just got to say, It was joyful just to see that. I was so in the moment for you, thinking, what a great life you've had, and he's been able to see you have.
Well, I'm very lucky. I got a great dad. He's always been terrific. And I just actually got to see him recently. So, yeah, he's terrific. My dad's very funny and terrific. So I always love spending time with my mom and my dad, my family. I've always been very close with my family.
Yeah, and I just recently found out that he was in Swingers, and I went back to see that scene.
That's right.
Kathryn, big fan of your work. If you were to cast yourself in another movie with Vince Vaughn, what genre would we do?
Oh, I would do any movie with Vince Vaughn. Are you kidding? I would love to do a comedy, another comedy. Let's go. Or drama, anything.
All right, make that happen. Make that happen. You guys be safe and sound. Great to hang out with you.
Great to see you, man.
Peace. See you guys. All right, so going into this movie, I told a lot of people it was like Freaky Friday, only instead of like the teenager and mom, it's a teenager and her serial killer. That's partly true. It is that movie, but it's not funny.
But it worked for me, Mark. I mean, it was kind of a nod to those slasher films of decades gone by. It kind of worked for me.
Yeah, it hits a lot of the tones of Scary Movie, and I liked it for that reason. And I like really visceral, creepy stuff. And when you get into his lair, like I mentioned in the interview, just being inside his lair, yeah, like if you had smell-o-vision, it just feels like flies are all around you.
Not only that, I'm not a fan of horror movies. It is hard for me to watch them, and that's why I enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed and got a kick out of Vince attempting to play a teenage girl. The scene where he's trying to convince the crush that it's really, he's really a young teenage woman, really had me in stitches. And I thought the cast, the co-stars, the two actors that play the best friends were pretty funny too.
Well said, multi-Emmy Award winner Tara Hitchcock. Thanks for being on the show. Where do we catch you when you're not winning Emmys or doing our show?
I have 3. You have what? How many?
It doesn't matter. 7. Anyway, throw out those social handles.
At Tara on TV Instagram, Tara on TV Facebook, Tara TV1 on Twitter.
That's awesome. Hey, that's it for the show. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and Tara Hitchcock. Just smile and wave because the credits are just about over.